Baking soda is something everyone has in their home, and this little box packs a ton of cleaning power and can be used in a variety of areas. So let me show you the best way to clean your house with baking soda and a few areas you should never use it. The first way to clean with baking soda is by using it as a scrub paste. And the nice thing about this is it's super simple to make. All you need to do is add some baking soda and water to a dish and give it a good mix. Now, in my experience, the consistency you're kind of looking for that works best is more like a runny toothpaste. Reason being is if it's too runny, it kind of just spreads everywhere and just doesn't do as good of a job and kind of makes a bigger mess. And if it's too thick, it's really hard to spread and gets kind of clumpy. Now, the nice thing is if it's too runny, all you need to do is just add a little bit more baking soda, or if it's too thick, just add some more water and then you're good to go. What's nice about this is you can use this in a variety of areas throughout the house to really give you that extra scrubbing power when you need it. For instance, I really like to use this on the oven. I think it does a really good job to cut through all that grease and grime buildup that, let's be real, we all have. And what's nice about this is it's an all natural option. So if you're looking to stay away from chemical cleaners when it comes to cleaning your oven, definitely give this paste a try. Another area you can use it in as well is your bathroom, on things like your tub, your shower, and even your sink. Really anywhere in the bathroom that has kind of that soap scum buildup that just can be hard to remove. This will give you that little extra oomph to cut through that and completely remove it from the surface. Another area this works really good on is your walls. Whether you're trying to get rid of any scuffs and marks, or maybe you have some kids in the house, they get their hands on crayons and like to add a little bit of art to the walls, this will do a good job to help you remove that. Just add a little bit of the paste to a microfiber towel and give that area a gentle scrub. Now, we don't want to scrub too hard because we don't want to cause damage. And anytime I talk about cleaning walls, I always need to mention if you do have flat paint, I would not use this paste because most likely it will cause damage. And with flat paint, if you do have those marks and things, usually the best option, I hate saying this, is always to just repaint that area. Now, wherever you use this scrub paste, there are a few things to keep in mind. Now, it is baking soda and it is abrasive, so always test a small inconspicuous area to ensure that you're not gonna cause any damage to that surface. Baking soda generally is pretty gentle, but I don't want you to cause any damage. The other thing to keep in mind is once you're done using this paste, always give that area a really good rinse. If you leave this behind, it will kind of dry hazy and just look like the area hasn't been cleaned. Another thing to keep in mind when it comes to rinsing, let's say you're cleaning your oven and using this as a scrub, less is kind of more here. I see sometimes that people just add a ton of baking soda to their oven. Yes, it will work and help you scrub all that grease and grime, but then it also works its way into all the nooks and crannies, and then you have to take the extra step of removing all of that baking soda, which can be a really big mess. So many times I'll use a little bit, rinse it, that way I completely remove it from the surface, and if I need any more, I'll add some more to that area, that way it's not building up. Now, the second way you can use baking soda to clean is by using it on your tile and grout. Now, this is pretty similar to that scrub paste that we mixed, but instead of adding water, what we're gonna do is add hydrogen peroxide. All you do is mix equal parts baking soda and hydrogen peroxide. Again, kind of that runny toothpaste mixture there. And then we're gonna use this to scrub out the grout lines with either a toothbrush or a nylon scrub brush. Now, this mixture does an amazing job to not only clean the grout, but it gets in all those cracks and crevices to really lift up all the nastiness that usually likes to build up in there, whether that's mold and mildew, or even that pink bacteria we find in our showers many times. And the nice thing about adding the hydrogen peroxide instead of the water is this also helps to kill that bacteria, but it's going to brighten the grout as well. Now, in cleaning grout, dwell time or letting your cleaner sit on the surface is always super important. So when using this mix, usually I'll scrub it in and just let it sit for a bit so it can do its thing. Now, the other thing to mention, kind of like the first paste that we talked about, always give this a really good rinse. We don't want to leave any of the baking soda on the grout itself because again, it can kind of get hazy and you can kind of see that white baking soda on the surface, especially if you have a darker color grout. The last thing I always like to mention is grout is challenging to clean. It's essentially a sponge and it loves to hold on to all sorts of grime and things. So sometimes you need to clean it with this mix, do the whole process, give it a good rinse. You might notice a few areas where some dirt and grime is still sitting there. So the best case is just to clean it again. Now, if you want a full tile and grout cleaning video, I have one linked down below. Definitely check that out. Now, if you have any stubborn spots that you just can't quite clean up on your natural stone countertops, baking soda can come in super handy. Now what we do is mix up something called a poultice, and essentially all that is baking soda and water. Now the consistency we want here is a little thicker because we want the baking soda to sit on that stubborn spot there and not spread out and move around. Then grab some plastic wrap, place that over the baking soda and tape it down. One quick pro tip here is use painter's tape instead of other tape, just because that other stuff will leave a residue and we don't want that on your nice countertops. Then just poke some holes in the saran wrap and let this sit for 24 hours to do its thing. What's happening here is we're using the baking soda to absorb and really draw out those stubborn stains from the countertop. Many times natural stone has very large pores, so when you spill something like turmeric or even Kool-Aid on the surface and you don't clean it up immediately, it can get pulled into those pores, so we need something to draw that out and absorb it. In my experience, you might have to do this a few times. It just kind of depends on how bad and set in the spot is, but stick with this, you got it. So far, we've talked a lot about the scrubbing power of baking soda, but another thing it does really well is absorbing those stinky odors. Probably the most common thing baking soda is used for in this setting is just putting a box in your refrigerator. In fact, they even make specialty boxes. You just peel them open, put them in there, and let it do its thing. Now, I will say this is a great idea to do, but over time it will fill with those stinky odors, and then it's just not really doing anything. Usually it's a good idea to replace these about every 30 days, and many times the boxes even have just a little place you can put the date on. That way you know when you put it in and when to replace it. The other thing you can do is just grab some coffee filters and some rubber bands, add a little bit of that baking soda to the coffee filter, and wrap it up nice and tight with the rubber band. We don't want that spilling all over the place. And you can put these little packets all around the house. One area I really like to use these is my shoes, especially my gym shoes. I'll be honest, they get a little stinky over time, and the baking soda does a really good job to absorb all those stinky odors, and it's not trying to mask anything, it truly is trying to remove them. That way everything stays nice and fresh. You can also put these in like your garbage cans around the house, or really anywhere you notice maybe a little funky odor. Just pop one of these in, but always remember it will last about 30 days, so you usually need to make a new one and replace it. Another very common way to use baking soda, and you might do this already, but that is in your laundry. And I wanted to mention this just because it can really help your clothes get cleaner if you don't do this already. In fact, Arm & Hammer even makes specialty detergent with baking soda in it. But you really don't need to buy those if you don't want to. All you need is about a half cup of baking soda. Add that to your drum when you're adding everything else and start the load of laundry. Now what this will do is neutralize or balance the pH of the water in the machine, and that helps your detergent clean better. It also helps it to rinse out easier, and it will even help make sure that there's no residue from the detergent left behind on your clothes, because if that happens, your clothes get sticky and they get dirty faster. The other really nice thing is obviously, like we talked about throughout this video, it helps neutralize stinky odors. So those gym clothes, you're definitely gonna wanna use this. The last thing is it will also help to brighten and lighten your clothes as well, and it will even soften them up a bit too. Now, baking soda is by no means a replacement for detergent, but what I love is it's a super cheap and effective way to boost your detergent and get your clothes cleaner. Now, this next tip is really not cleaning related whatsoever, but I wanted to mention it because it can be so helpful, especially if you have nothing else. And that is to use baking soda to put out a grease fire. Now, you should never, ever, ever, ever add water to a grease fire or try to put it out with water, because that will make things even worse. Instead, you want to starve that flame of oxygen. Now, in the best case scenario, most likely you should have either a fire blanket or even a fire extinguisher in your kitchen just in case. But if you can't find those or don't have one on hand, and all of a sudden you're staring down a grease fire on the top of your stove, just grab some baking soda, pour that on there very carefully, and this will extinguish the flame, because again, you're starving the flame of oxygen, and this will put that out. Now, I gotta say, I hope you never, ever, ever have to use this, but now you have the information, that way it's there if you need it. The next way to use baking soda is probably one of my favorites because it's so satisfying and the transformations are amazing, and really the best part is you don't have to do any scrubbing. And that is using baking soda to remove tarnish from silver. Now, all you need to do is grab a container like this one here, and what we're gonna do is put aluminum foil in there, making sure that the shiny side is facing up. Now we're gonna grab our tarnished item and put that in the container like so, and then add about a tablespoon of baking soda, or if you need a little bit more, you can add a bit more there. Just put a little bit on top here. And then we're gonna grab some hot water and we're gonna put this in the container and let it do its thing. Now, the reason that your silver gets darkened and discolored over time is because the silver is reacting with sulfur in the air, and this creates a layer of something called silver sulfide on the surface. Now, to remove that, we use this reaction here, and that transfers that silver sulfide from the silver piece to the aluminum foil, leaving the silver piece nice and shiny and looking like new. Now, the other really nice thing about this chemical reaction is you don't have to do any scrubbing like I mentioned, so you prevent the chances of scratching the piece and causing damage. Now, keep in mind, because we're using the reaction of all of this together, once you do it, you have to use new materials, like new aluminum foil, new baking soda, and water here. So usually dump this out and start over new. When doing this, I will say it might smell a little bit like rotten eggs. That's usually the sulfur, and many times this is a good sign because then you know it's working. The other thing I like to mention is you can use this on other silver things like utensils and platters and stuff. The only challenge is you need a big enough container to do that, and always make sure the piece is in contact fully with the aluminum foil. The last thing is, yes, you can use this on jewelry like we're doing today, but if you do have some really precious and delicate stones in that jewelry, this isn't my favorite just because I don't want anything to be damaged. Usually it's best to call a professional and bring it to a local jeweler. Now let's talk about some ways to never use baking soda around your house. Now, the first is mixing baking soda with vinegar. Yes, I know this might be a bit controversial because you see this hack all over the internet, but the reality is once you mix the two together, you do get that cool reaction, all those bubbles and fizziness happening, but after that, you're left with salt water and there's really no cleaning power in that. Instead, use them separately. Start with the baking soda as your scrub, kind of like we talked about at the start of the video, then come through with your vinegar to get anything remaining on the surface. Now, the other thing I see all the time as well is people sprinkling baking soda on their carpet, their rugs, their couch, and even their mattress. However, baking soda is ultra fine, and the reality is you can really never fully vacuum that up and remove that. The other really important thing to keep in mind is when you vacuum up a ton of baking soda, that gets clogged up in your vacuum cleaner, which makes it super hard to clean. It will also clog the filters. Personally, I say stay away from this. There's better options out there to neutralize these areas and keep them smelling good. Along those same lines, another popular hack is to use baking soda and lemon for your cutting board. And essentially, because the lemon is acidic, the same thing is happening here as well. You might get that cool reaction, but you're better off using the baking soda first. That helps pull out any stinky odors from your cutting board. Give that a quick rinse and then come through with your lemon. I will say though, I personally prefer using salt instead of baking soda. I just think it does a better job. Now, if you notice on the back of the box, it says 100+ uses for baking soda, and obviously I couldn't put every single one in this video. So if you have a special use that you like to use baking soda on around your house, definitely drop it down in the comments. I'd love to give it a try. And there you have it. Now you know some of the best ways to use baking soda around your house. Thanks so much for watching as always, and if you're new here, consider subscribing and smash that like button. I also need to give a huge shout out to all the Clean Squad members. Thank you so much for your continued support of the channel. Now, if you want to join the Clean Squad and help support the channel as well, and even get your name in the credits down below, all you need to do is click the link in the description for the Patreon, or click the join button here on YouTube for the memberships. And as always, I'll see you on the next Clean.